Hey, it's John-Marc, and thanks for checking out this latest mystery drawing. Well, what are you saying, mystery? Well, for the past few weeks, actually, every Friday at noontime, I have revealed one of my new pop art, and what you can see in the back there is that's Black Widow, and that's today's lesson. Previously, I actually did, I think it was Iron Man, and then right after that, I did Captain America. So each week, again, I have a mystery one. So if you want to go to my YouTube channel, check out the community board, you'll see next Fridays, and you might even try to guess it. Anyway, so what am I doing now? Showing you. Well, not to show you all the steps because it takes a little longer. I'm jumping into the final step, step 3, and how I fine-tune this particular character from the Marvel series. And what I did is I had step 1 first. I made it really quick, sketching it out. Then I took step 2, made it a little bit tighter, and now I come back with step number 3 when I use my stylus and go a little bit slower and make sure that the line's a little bit tighter. And from that level, as you can see, that's where I come up with that final one that I airbrushed in Photoshop. So without further ado, let's begin today's lesson. And I hope you learn some new tips and techniques that I do and use. Well, I'm going to be still using my little Wacom wand, should I say, to rotate the paper because I don't like to draw stiff. So, and I might be zooming in from time to time. All right, so what gravitates my head to right now, I'm going to start with the nose. I think last time I started with the nose of Captain America. So let's continue with Black Widow this way. She's a cool character. All right, and now I'm just going to work on the eyes. And what I did with the eyes and everything made it very simple. I kind of made like an X first when I create these little pop-out characters. I'm not the original creators. These are Marvel. This is just a style, my style that I actually just created several years ago. I want to say maybe 7 years ago right now, or maybe even more than that. All right, let's get that little lip over there. And this is just a nice clean version. I can't even go cleaner with this one where I would remove the blue lines so you can actually see just a straight finished product. And then from there you can take it to the inking, or if you want to leave the pencil lines on there and take it to like a watercolor or acrylic right then and there, go for it. So the brush that I'm currently using is kind of like a mechanical pencil version that I actually downloaded a brush online. Sometimes you can make your own brushes. In this case, I took one that kind of gives me the technique of sketching, and the harder I sketch, more pressure I should say, it gets a little bit darker. So you can see here, barely see anything right now because that's light. Now I can go a little harder, so it feels just like a typical pencil to me, and like a mechanical pencil, which is nice. So when I do some of the lines, I might not come very hard in the very beginning. If I'm not so sure, I go a little bit softer, and then when I have my hand going back and forth, I said, okay, that looks good, and then I can come back a little harder and follow that through. So if you haven't checked out my videos on YouTube, make sure you do, because I have all these lessons that are on there right now, and on there I have a lot of these tips and techniques that I've been learning for the past almost 40 years right now, and I want to share with you how to become a better artist. And that it takes time and practice, daily practicing, like everything else you do. The more you do, the better you get. And then when you learn this, then it's an enjoyable technique where you can actually sketch, because a lot of times people are not teaching the right way with a magic marker and just drawing right out there. If you're a professional artist and you're doing sketching, fine, but when they're showing you how to draw from the very beginning with a magic marker from step 1, I'm like, you gotta know the fundamentals. You need to know how to build up the shapes. As you can see here, I have the head, then I have the body, and then I have the legs. That's the fundamentals of becoming a better artist, and that's why I want to make sure that you are actually being taught the proper way, and a way to get more for your enjoyment, and how you can become a stronger. Anyways, coming back to her hair right there, and what you might recognize also, what I like to do with them is create a perfectly round circle head. Sometimes I'll ink these in Illustrator. I use Photoshop the pencil, Illustrator to maybe ink it all in, sometimes Photoshop too, but it's really nice because I can get a perfect circle and have it there, and I just kind of clean it up. All right, let's get her little outfit working on right now. A little zipper there. That's looking good. Looking a little bit, and sometimes you might take it to the next area where you didn't finish. Like I made that little zipper there like a block, like a little three-dimensional. All right, not looking good. Let's get her arms and shoulders set up on there. And what you really want to also know is understand that people's anatomy. And how do you understand people's anatomy? You can look at magazines, okay, or better yet, you can have family members pose for you when you're drawing some of your artwork. And sometimes some of the poses you can't get that way because they're like Spider-Man at one pose or several of them. They're hard. So you're going to need to look at some references maybe of Spider-Man and see how they did and turn it into your style. Yep. That is some pictures I have done before the same way using that. Or then you can take what they have, these little mannequins, should I say. And from the mannequins, you can actually pose them in different positions so that you can actually learn the anatomy. And then you can rotate, so you can see the hand here. When you rotate it, it moves this way and so forth. So it might be useful to have that. And even when I'm saying that, when you have your family member posing for you, take the video camera, pose and stay still, rotate around, pause a little bit more, go again to another spot, pause. Use that as another lesson to understand how to see the anatomy of people. That is if you like the human anatomy. What about animals? Well, where do you go for that? Well, if you have a zoo nearby, you can go to a zoo or a farm and take some pictures, or just go right in the field of the farm and just draw those animals right then and there. When we used to go to art school, we used to love going to bus stations and airports. Why? You got a lot of different nationalities and international people. And when you get that, you get their clothing, you get their style, and it was great. We used to just sit there and just sketch away the people that were walking by. They really didn't know what we're doing. We're just harmlessly just drawing and sketching away and just learning different styles of clothing and how people actually walk and how they hope their body looks and everything. Back in our days, we did not have the internet like now, so it's not like I can search something from somebody from a European or from Asia or wherever. I couldn't do that. I had to take a magazine, go to a library, and spend more time. And the research back in our time, I'm talking in the late 80s, took a lot more effort than it does today. Today I can just like snap a button. Oh, there, it's right there. You guys have it easier than what we did when we were going to art school. But even so, I would strongly recommend still doing those little class trips or events, going to those public places like a bus stop or airport, and just sit down and do some sketching. It's really, really good. You can even do it in a mall, believe it or not. You're going to get the local community and so forth, but that still works. Anywhere where you can get different, how should I say, different clothing or how the people walk is really good, because I took animation, so that was one of the things that we like to see is people's personality, how they walk and stiff or still, or you get all different ages. You get little kids to older people, which is great for that one reason. Now, when I'm still sketching away right here, what I'm trying to show you is how I'm just fine-tuning it. And then even this part, when I get to inking it in, I still could change it. Still could change some of the elements. Working on the belt. Well, how do I know when I'm looking at this character what it looks like? So sometimes you go to the model sheets, maybe from Marvel or TV show, movies, and pick up on some of the clothing, kind of like they do, and you kind of fudge it to fit your style, or you come up with stuff as well to give that illusion of this character, which is the Black Widow. And basically that's just exactly what I just did for her. Just come up with kind of looking like cool things on her belt, the handgun that's over here that she has, her gloves here, the fingerless gloves, like my Cookie Monster glove. Okay, it makes it easier to move on my stylus over here. And I'm just about done with doing the pencils right now, as you can see. There we go here. And I think, yeah, looking good. So what I want to really share with you is how you can actually get better as an artist, going to the mall, going to a bus stop, going to your school, wherever you might find different people, and just sit there and start sketching away. That's a challenge for you. And also, make sure you subscribe to my videos and see some of my other techniques and tips. As always, I want to say thanks for checking out this video and have a great day.